Just when 49ers fans thought the offseason drama was finally slowing down, everything changed in an instant. Social media exploded late last night after shocking reports connected Brandon Aiyuk to a possible blockbuster trade scenario that nobody saw coming. Fans were stunned. And now one massive question is hanging over the entire San Francisco 49ers organization. Is Brandon Aiyuk really on his way out? Because if this actually happens, it could completely change the future of the 49ers offense forever. The reaction across the NFL world has been absolutely insane. Some fans are angry. Some are heartbroken. And honestly, the timing could not be more shocking. This is a player who became one of Brock Purdy's most trusted weapons. A receiver who made huge plays in pressure moments. A player who worked his way from criticism early in his career to becoming one of the most dangerous route runners in football. 49ers fans watched him grow into a star right in front of their eyes. And now, suddenly, trade rumors are everywhere. The craziest part is that some NFL insiders believe the 49ers may already be preparing for life without him. That's the part fans really don't want to hear. Because when you start connecting all the clues from the last few months, things begin to look very suspicious. First came the contract situation. Then came the tension around negotiations. Then came reports about financial pressure inside the organization. Many fans believed San Francisco would eventually work things out with Aiyuk no matter what happened. After all, this is a team trying to stay in championship contention. And sometimes even star players become difficult decisions, especially when huge contracts start colliding with salary cap pressure. Remember, the 49ers already have massive money tied into multiple stars across the roster. Nick Bosa got paid. Christian McCaffrey got paid. Trent Williams got paid. Fred Warner remains one of the highest paid linebackers in football. George Kittle carries a major number. And eventually Brock Purdy's contract situation becomes another gigantic conversation. And now fans fear Brandon Aiyuk may be the sacrifice. What makes this story even more emotional is how important Aiyuk became to this offense over the past few seasons. There was a time early in his career when questions surrounded him constantly. Some people doubted his effort. Others questioned whether he could become a true number one receiver. There were moments where his role in the offense seemed uncertain. But he kept working. He kept improving. And eventually he transformed into one of the cleanest route runners in the NFL. Corners struggled to stay with him. Defenses respected him. And Brock Purdy trusted him in huge moments. When defenses focused too much on Christian McCaffrey or George Kittle, Aiyuk made them pay. He became a complete receiver. Because nobody expected this story to suddenly turn into possible goodbye rumors again, especially after everything he's done for the franchise. Some reports now suggest multiple teams around the league would aggressively pursue Aiyuk if San Francisco officially opened trade talks. And honestly, that should not surprise anybody. Elite receivers are one of the most valuable assets in football today. And Aiyuk is entering the prime years of his career. The scary part for 49ers fans is imagining him wearing another uniform. Imagine seeing him catch touchdowns somewhere else while the 49ers offense struggles to replace his production. That's the nightmare scenario fans are terrified about right now. And here's where things become even more complicated. Some people inside NFL circles believe San Francisco may feel confident in their younger receiving options moving forward. That could become a major factor. The organization might believe they can spread targets differently. They may think the offensive system itself can continue producing success regardless of who lines up outside. He's built offenses around different types of weapons before. But replacing a player like Aiyuk is not easy. You don't simply remove a polished receiver with chemistry, experience, speed, and elite separation ability without consequences. Some are blaming the front office. Others are blaming the salary cap. And some fans are simply refusing to believe the rumors at all. But then another shocking detail started making the situation feel even more serious. Certain analysts began discussing potential trade packages. That changed everything. Because once specific trade ideas begin circulating heavily, fans immediately feel danger. People started debating what teams could offer. Draft picks. Young players. Some fans even noticed sportsbooks adjusting certain odds connected to offseason movement around NFL receivers. Suddenly, the conversation stopped feeling impossible and started feeling terrifyingly real. One NFL analyst even suggested this situation could become one of the biggest surprise trades of the entire offseason if negotiations inside the organization continue moving in the wrong direction. Because nobody wants to imagine the 49ers voluntarily weakening their offense while trying to chase a Super Bowl, especially after falling heartbreakingly short before. That's another emotional layer to this entire story. 49ers fans have already experienced too much pain in recent years. Deep playoff runs, close calls. The last thing this fan base wants is more uncertainty surrounding the roster. They want stability. They want another championship push. They want the core to stay together. And now this trade drama is threatening all of that. Sometimes silence speaks loudly in the NFL. Fans expected stronger denials. They expected clearer statements. Instead, uncertainty continues growing. And uncertainty creates panic, especially when it involves a star player. Every post, every interview, every reaction, every quote. They want reassurance. There are arguments on both sides. He's elite. He fits the offense perfectly. He helps Brock Purdy immensely. He gives the team another true game-breaking threat. But financially, that's where the pressure becomes dangerous, because eventually difficult choices arrive for every contender. The NFL is brutal like that. Dynasties rarely stay together forever. Someone eventually leaves, and sometimes those departures shock everybody. 49ers fans remember previous painful exits already. They know how quickly beloved players can disappear. Because fans know nothing is guaranteed in professional football, especially during the modern era of gigantic contracts. Some insiders even believe the 49ers front office could be trying to maintain leverage publicly while privately exploring all possible scenarios. If true, that would mean conversations behind the scenes may already be far more serious than fans realize. That's another reason this story feels dangerous. One team believing they are one receiver away. One general manager ready to gamble big. Nobody is truly untouchable anymore. That reality is hard for fan bases to accept, especially when the player involved became emotionally connected to the city. His confidence, his playmaking ability. Others are already emotionally preparing for the worst. Players understand business realities better than fans sometimes do, but that doesn't mean they enjoy watching teammates become uncertainty headlines. And make no mistake, losing him would absolutely change the feel of this offense. The ripple effects would be enormous. They know this situation could reshape the entire season. And honestly, some fans are furious because they believe this never should have reached this point. They argue that elite homegrown talent should always remain priority number one. They point out how difficult it is to draft and develop receivers at Aiyuk's level. They believe letting him leave would create a massive mistake the organization could regret for years. They worry about future flexibility. They worry about balancing the team long-term. That debate is now dividing parts of the fan base. And until an official resolution happens, the tension will only grow stronger. If a trade actually happens, it would instantly become one of the biggest stories in football. Headlines everywhere would explode. Sports shows would debate it nonstop. Fans around the league would react with shock. It still feels surreal. But sometimes the moves that feel surreal end up becoming reality. That's what makes this entire situation so nerve-wracking. Especially because contenders rarely want to weaken themselves intentionally, unless they believe the long-term benefits outweigh the short-term pain. And perhaps that's the question dominating the front office right now. Do they believe they can remain elite without Brandon Aiyuk? Because if the answer inside that building becomes yes, then fans should truly start worrying. Another fascinating part of this story is how much pressure now falls on Brock Purdy indirectly. Whether people admit it or not, quarterbacks are always connected to roster decisions. They'll ask harder questions. They'll challenge whether the system can remain explosive. They'll wonder if enough weapons still exist. That's why this isn't just about one player. And fans know it. That's why emotions are running so high right now, because they understand how quickly championship windows can close in the NFL. One major roster change can shift everything. One wrong decision can haunt a franchise for years. Just look across league history. Teams often regret losing elite talent more than they expect, which makes this possibility feel even sadder, because deep down, many fans hoped he would spend his prime years wearing red and gold. More huge catches, more unforgettable games. Instead, they're now refreshing their phones every few hours hoping terrible news doesn't suddenly become official. That doesn't guarantee a deal happens. Until either side publicly shuts everything down completely, fans will continue fearing the worst. The craziest thing? Because receivers like Brandon Aiyuk rarely become available, especially not in their prime. That reality alone should tell you how valuable he truly is. You don't casually move players like this unless the circumstances become extremely complicated. Some insiders now believe the next few weeks could become absolutely critical for determining what happens next. If tensions cool down, maybe both sides eventually reach stability. But if negotiations stall further, the trade noise may become impossible to ignore. That uncertainty is what makes fans so uncomfortable right now. They don't know whether to stay calm or panic completely. Every rumor feels massive. One former NFL player even mentioned that situations like this can emotionally affect fan bases more than outsiders realize. Because supporters invest years into watching players grow. They celebrate them, defend them, wear their jerseys, build emotional attachment. Then suddenly business realities threaten to erase everything overnight. And honestly, there's another reason this hurts so much. Brandon Aiyuk represents perseverance. They remember questions about his role, questions about consistency, questions about effort. Instead of collapsing under pressure, he improved. He matured. He evolved into a legitimate star. Fans respect that journey. They admire it. Because it feels like losing part of the team's identity. And if this truly ends with a trade, the reaction from the fan base may become explosive, especially if the return package fails to impress immediately. 49ers fans are not interested in rebuilding conversations. They want championships now. They want aggressive winning moves. They want another Super Bowl run immediately. Trading Aiyuk would feel risky no matter how executives try explaining it. Because everyone understands the stakes. One decision could reshape the future of the franchise. Keep him, and financial pressure grows elsewhere. Trade him, and the offense potentially loses one of its biggest weapons. There is no painless solution. That's the harsh reality. But one thing fans definitely agree on. They never expected to wake up hearing Brandon Aiyuk trade rumors dominating headlines again. And definitely not with this much seriousness attached. Right now, all eyes remain on the 49ers organization waiting for answers, waiting for clarity, waiting for reassurance. Because until something official happens, fear will continue spreading across the fan base. And honestly, maybe that's the saddest part of all. The uncertainty. The feeling that something beloved might suddenly disappear. 49ers fans wanted excitement heading into the season. Instead, they got anxiety. They got rumors. They got fear. And now they're left wondering whether one of their favorite stars may have already played his final game in San Francisco. If that moment truly comes, it will break the hearts of countless 49ers fans everywhere.